On the one side is you have Amazon sellers, for example, we'll use Amazon, that have their own brand, that sell their own product or white label a product that is for which they hold inventory costs. They got to buy in bulk this product directly from the manufacturer, hold it in a warehouse that either they own or they lease from somebody, the warehouse space. So that's overhead, that's cost, that is risk because you don't know if it will sell. Good afternoon, my name is Julian Sanchez. Thank you for having me here this afternoon. I will talk a little bit about my personal experience or how I leveraged different skill sets, finances, people, knowledge into commercial real estate assets and e-commerce. So I'll be sharing a little bit about that today. So we started acquiring commercial real estate about 6 years ago. Our focus then was solely apartment buildings. We did our first deal, best one we've done till this day, was the little building that could in Illinois, and which we also still own to this day, and it cash flows very nicely month after month. We have since grown the portfolio to various holdings in many different states: Ohio, Illinois, Arkansas, South Florida. 3 years ago, middle of COVID, middle of the pandemic, it started with an idea of mine. I had this idea, hey, hotels are going bankrupt. There's no people traveling. There's no people staying in hotels. Let's take some of these. Let's get them at a loan off cost basis. We'll turn them into apartment buildings. Long story short, start doing some digging, making some phone calls, meeting people. Meet a guy, broker out of Tampa, Benny Spencieri. Shout out to Benny if you're watching this. He tells me, hey, I do the same, but converting hotels to assisted living facilities. I'm like, I don't know assisted living facilities. Well, there's one for sale in Pompano Beach. I'm like, oh, let's look at it. We looked at it. Numbers look great. Let's buy it. We bought it. 3 years later, we still hold the asset. And it's an asset class we very much have started liking since. So with what we've seen and experienced in the multifamily in recent years has caused us, or I should say we have chosen to pivot into an asset class that has a lot higher barriers to entry, heavily regulated, and there's thus less competition, and that we can see higher profits, more opportunities, especially being in the geographic area that we are in South Florida, or the whole state of Florida. It's exactly the place where people want to go to retire. It's exactly the place where this asset class is the most sought after. And you guys all know the statistics on baby boomers, the amount of people retiring, et cetera, et cetera. You can look on your own into that. It's easy to find, but that's why we're focusing and doubling down on that in the coming months. And next year, we have 2 acquisitions right now, 2 assets in Central Florida we're looking to buy, and hopefully acquire a lot more in that asset class. So with the unique challenges that real estate represents in it by itself, I find myself, we're all presented opportunities on a daily basis. Many I've done, some I regret doing, some were great learning lessons. One of them has stuck. I liked, it's been profitable, I enjoyed it, was e-commerce. Because it started 3 years ago with the Walmart store that I had ample business credit from really left over after the real estate that I could still put to work, that I could still put to use. And at the time, get those points, those rewards, cash back. It seemed fun. But so it stuck with me. Went to different marketplaces other than Amazon and Walmart, which are highly competitive and saturated. We found it's a team effort. Different marketplaces that allow us to have less competition, higher margins, less risk of stores being shut down and funds held by Amazon. If If you Google that, you'll find plenty of examples of that, right? And what we've done differently is a process of two-step drop shipping, which is, so I'll give both sides of the coin, because there's people that make a lot of money in this business. On the one side is you have Amazon sellers, for example, we'll use Amazon, that have their own brand, that sell their own product, or white label a product that is, for which they hold inventory costs. They got to buy in bulk this product directly from the manufacturer, hold it in a warehouse that either they own or they lease from somebody, the warehouse space. So that's overhead, that's cost, that is risk, because you don't know if it will sell. What we've done is implemented, and the pro of that is margins are higher. You're taking on all that risk, you make more money. We have taken a less risky approach with a two-step drop shipping system, which order comes in, it goes to our 3PL logistics partner, repackages, and ships out to the client directly. So we never have the cost of inventory, we never have the upfront cost of inventory, and the holding cost of keeping that in a warehouse. So we don't have that overhead, less risk, good returns, could potentially be higher if we were doing, it's like any business. You take more of the market share, more of the verticals, you will have higher margins, but you have higher risk. So I commenced talking about real estate, and obviously here we're talking about investments in general. That's what our firm does at Elan Capital. I mentioned where we started, where our focus is going to be from now on, which also may change in the future. The market is flowing, and you flow with the market, not against it. My other strategy is e-commerce. Ultimately, both work in synergy for myself. So as you guys that are listening, you figure out which one works for you best. Long-term real estate is that kind of play. It is a long-term play. It is a wealth generation, preservation play. The e-commerce provides me weekly cash flow, weekly cash in my bank account every 7 days. So thus is why it was a perfect add-on to my real estate portfolio. Because you have times where real estate sucks more capital and is capital intensive, because real estate is a capital intensive activity, and sometimes you need to inject more that it's not immediately giving you back. And so while you may have a high net worth on paper, you can't go pay groceries with your equity. So that's what e-commerce solved for me. And so for those of you here listening, just figure out, I did this example in an interview, and hopefully I'm not digressing in answering your question, but you have opposite extremes of investments. You have very safe assets, which, I was talking about annuities or money market accounts, giving you a single-digit return safely every year. Or over here, you can go throw your life savings at the blackjack table in the casino. You may double your money immediately, but lose it all as well. So here in the middle, there is something that suits you, and it depends on your skill set, knowledge, how much time do you have to do the task, do the business, or to learn it, is where you decide how involved you have to be. If you want truly passive income, you find an operator to partner with, which is what we do for our investors at Elan Capital. In our e-commerce side, I've also now started offering that as a done-for-you partnership in e-commerce. We create the stores for you, we manage the product, we manage the orders, we get the products approved by the marketplaces to sell, and handle all customer satisfaction, etc. So in the end, it all comes down to what works best for you. So hopefully that answers your question. And this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, so whoever is watching this on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, notification. But to close out, if only I have trouble as it is talking and presenting what I already do. Imagine if I didn't. I say that because I am preaching about the business activities I do on a day-to-day basis. And you can see on our website at Elan Capital, you can see posts about that I've made on my social media at our properties, at our portfolio. I show what I've done in e-commerce, and I try to be as transparent as possible. So I'm here to help, answer any questions you may have. And this is, for me, this is what I love, doing what I love. Never stop learning, never stop growing. So join me. I guess this is an invitation, to join me on this journey where we all learn and grow together and see where it all takes us. So, thanks.